Things are brewing once again in the lightweight division, and it is no different than what it has always been when it comes to the fighters at the top of the division. And so Gervonta Tank Davis, who was looking to make negotiations with Vasyl Lomachenko for a possible fight this fall, negotiations have seemingly fallen apart. One reason being, Lomachenko's people have said that he's not motivated at this time for something like that. Could that be a ploy? Or could it be something more of the nature of what has transpired most recently? We have to take all things into consideration, because Loma, who was once that guy, was chasing Tank Davis when Tank, under his management and mentoring, was told that they would put off a fight with Loma until he's ready. And now he claims to be. Let's talk about this a little deeper. Gervonta Tank Davis, a name that is hot in the lightweight division, and he is prominent in negotiations with anyone as the A side. And so as he faced recently Frank Martin, the Ghost, and had a stellar performance against Frank in which he stopped Frank Martin, knocked him out cold, many took eye towards what could be next for Gervonta. And he immediately had stated after that he wants everybody, all the big names in the sport, including Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, many didn't see that call out coming, but apparently it has been on Tank's mind. And seeing that he is no longer acquainted with Floyd Mayweather, Vasyl Lomachenko is on his mind even more. That doesn't mean that Tank isn't prepared to carry things out. It was the performance against Frank Martin that maybe made Loma think about things, rethink, because I'm going to say something about Tank's performance against Martin. He took Martin apart like a veteran fighter with experience, capability, boxing ring IQ, something that not necessarily was always attributed to him, even though there were underlying elements of that being there. But Frank Martin was no easy fighter to beat. Even if Lomachenko had faced Frank Martin, you may have seen him struggle against Martin. And that's something to consider. But I'll tell you this, according to a Boxing News 24 article, link will be in the description box. Gervonta Tank Davis's coach, Kenny Ellis, took to social media to scold Vasyl Lomachenko for not being motivated to return to the ring for a unification fight against the Baltimore native Gervonta Tank Davis. Ellis barked at Lomachenko, saying he should retire if he weren't motivated to fight Tank Davis, who's now 30-0 with 28 KOs. Interestingly, Tank's motivation to fight Lomachenko wasn't from 2018 to 2023. Only now has it suddenly surfaced. My thoughts about that are very simple. Tank, whose career had been guided by Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe, was always sold as a fighter who's a star. They made certain that they guided his career and had him facing the type of opposition where it showcased his talents and abilities, overshadowing whatever shortcomings there could possibly be, but at the same time making market revenue because he had the equalizer, a KO punch, which always sells in boxing. But it really just depends on who's managing you, who's promoting. The article goes on. If Lomachenko can't get motivated by being the chance of being the face of boxing, his team needs to hang his gloves to where he can never reach them again. He's done, said Coach Kenny Ellis on social media, reacting to Lomachenko reportedly telling his manager, Aegis Kilmus, that he's not motivated to fight Gervonta Tank Davis right now. Loma's manager didn't rule out Lomachenko fighting Tank. He just said he didn't want to fight until the end of the year, which is when the clash was planned anyway. Yesterday, Kilmus told Steve Kim on X, Loma is not in the mood to fight Tank Davis right now. He doesn't have the motivation at the moment. That's kind of iffy because there are plans behind the scenes to try to get Vasyl Lomachenko the shot to being undisputed before he ends his career. And there are certain chess pieces that can be moved and placed in a strategic order to allow this to happen. But first, Loma will need certain things to take place in order for him to slide into those slots. In comes a wild card. Maybe the likes of a Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis rival Vasyl Lomachenko with titles of the WBA and WBC variety. And in order for Loma to have that opportunity to become undisputed, he more than likely will not accomplish that if he has to go through each and every one of these fighters. At some point, he may fall. And just as Frank Martin fell against Gervonta, Vasyl isn't looking to fight that many tough fights. He's 36, 37 years of age, and these young men are in their virtual primes. So what can be done here? Maybe the PTB, those behind the scenes, will try to now initiate something where we may see Gervonta have to take on the likes of Shakur Stevenson. Now, is that advantageous for Gervonta? In a way, yes, because he has a lot going for him. But Shakur Stevenson needs a breakout performance as well, because he's been highly criticized, especially since his fight with Artem Harutyunyan people are clamoring that Shakur is afraid to mix it up. He went on a Twitter, social media, YouTube rant with everyone who had anything critical to say about him. But yet and still, watching all of this in the wings was Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, a stroke of genius and a little help by promoters, Bob Arum, Lou DiBella, maybe even, we won't even say Floyd Mayweather. There is something going on here. But it all could play out very well for Gervonta if he's able to manage to hold and uphold what he has given us thus far in the sport. That's exciting fights, showcasing the ability to make adjustments and to draw opponents into an area where they are vulnerable and display their weaknesses. Could he do that with Shakur Stevenson? They've sparred before in the past, and both of them have admitted to having success against the other. But as I've always maintained, sparring is sparring. But when it's for the pot of gold, it's what's inside the individual that will shine through and carry fighters through. So it'll be interesting what happens when these two men possibly face one another. And Loma will be sitting there, hands across his eyes, just as you see in this image, hiding from what the possibility may be of who he may have to face. If they're able to cancel one another out, he can swing in and pick up the pieces. But that's more than likely not to happen because the division is getting younger and more ripe with talent, with young men who have something to prove. So, as Gervonta looks toward another opponent, who will it be? Will he take a step back and take a nondescript person? Or will he look forward to the likes of a challenge of an Emmanuel Navarrete or a Shakur Stevenson? Who knows? But if Vasyl Lomachenko wants to sit this one out, don't worry. The parade will go on. And he will miss the show. Because Father Time is undefeated. Yeah. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are about all of this and what should happen next. Will Gervonta fight the right guy, or will he step aside and wait for things to shake out himself? It's going to be interesting. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.